This is big breaking news. Multiple manufacturing plants inside of Ohio have reported massive explosions. Mass casualty events have been reported, and these events have happened, two of them, two manufacturing facilities within 45 minutes of each other and within an hour of East Palestine, Ohio. What is happening? Something's going on. It seems like there are cells being activated and there is attack after attack. What if these systems are being hit with a cyber attack and it is causing them to malfunction and have these massive explosions? It's definitely a possibility. Just yesterday, there were explosive devices left on a railway right outside Philadelphia. So something is happening in Ohio, Pennsylvania, the Northeast. Lots of big things. I'm from Ohio. My wife is actually from this area, Erie, Pennsylvania, a couple hours from here. So this is very big news, and they're reporting that now metal is raining down from the sky as well. So we've already had toxic chemicals raining down from the sky. Now metal and shrapnel is raining down from the sky as well. And now another manufacturing facility has been taken offline, another kink in our supply chain. Even if it's 0.1% every single time, it adds up very quickly when it happens every single day. And these are big stories. These plants have been here for decades, and all of a sudden, two of them within 48 hours have exploded. So let's get into the details here. The first one was in Bedford, and the other one was in Warren Township, both right outside of Cleveland, and both very close to East Palestine as well. Very suspicious what's going on here. Quote, like a bomb, Oakwood manufacturing plant explodes, leaving several injured. Ohio fire crews battling large blaze after explosion at a metal alloy factory. Right, so something is going on. You can see here that cars are getting destroyed from this explosion, okay? And you can see here this explosion can be seen from very far away and is creating a toxic chemical cloud similar to what we've seen before. And some people were even speculating that maybe the chemicals that they are using in this metal factory potentially they are reacting with the vinyl chloride that was released into the atmosphere from this train derailment. Potentially, there is some kind of reaction going on, and that is why we are seeing more events. Okay, I don't know. This is just a theory I saw thrown out there, and I wanted to share because possibility. It's a possibility here. But it's also a possibility that these facilities are being sabotaged, and their metrics, their inputs, their outputs, their electricity inputs, outputs, all this stuff can be manipulated. All right, we saw this happen a few years ago where a water system was hacked. I believe it was in Florida, where a water system was cyber attacked and hacked and manipulated to put excess amounts of cleaner and disinfectant that you normally put in the water. You normally just put in a little bit, all right, to disinfect the water, but the systems were hacked to put in a massive amount and essentially make the water very toxic and poisonous. And this was all done remotely and almost hurt a lot of people. Okay, thankfully they were alerted to the systems going off, because their systems were like, hey, why is this chemical being released at such high levels into the water? Thankfully there was a failsafe, but a lot of these things, these plants were built decades ago. There's no failsafe, and their systems could be accessed from the outside, even something very simple, and could cause a massive disruption, massive explosion like this. Here's some more pictures you can see here. Just people driving by this toxic plant that exploded, and metal is literally raining down from the sky. And it's just one of these things. They're always like, oh, shelter in place, stay where you are, just stay here and breathe these chemicals, stay here and drink the water. It's fine. And you can see here this picture underneath me is the roof of the building, and crews are struggling to contain this fire. This is a massive fire here, and it is not easily containable. And another fire just happened about 45 minutes ago from this one. Just a few days ago, 48 hours ago, this happened. Suspected boiler explosion at a Warren coke plant being investigated. Fire department urges public to stay away from the area. No injuries have been reported and no chemical leaks are suspected. All right, so that's what they're telling us, but it's really hard to trust the authorities on any of these incidents because a lot of times they lie to cover their butt. All right, but what is going on here? How are all of these events happening one right after the other? Bedford and Warren Township both happened within the past 48 hours. Massive explosions at industrial plants, and there's barely any coverage on it, right? If stuff like this happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this would be national news. If a major plant exploded outside of Cleveland and it was raining down metal shrapnel over Cleveland, Ohio, one of the biggest cities in the country, okay? This would be national news, and it's barely a blip on the radar. And put it in correlation with being right next to East Palestine. Something is going on. Our cells being activated in the United States. And we can see here multiple cities and counties have been hit with these cyber attacks. We are constantly getting bombarded. If you've been following my channel, there's a new one every other day. And you can see here Oakland declared a state of emergency. And also Suffolk County in New York, right up there in the Northeast as well, has had their systems offline for months due to a massive cyber attack. That's why I'm saying these plants, these manufacturing facilities could be targeted and could be subject to cyber attacks, ransomware attacks, and just like that water system, they could just manipulate what is going on in their manufacturing and cause a massive explosion. There could be mercenary groups that are hired externally. There are plenty of groups that want to take out the United States manufacturing capability and the United States supply chains. Tons of groups that have interests in that, and tons of groups that have openly said they have an interest in things like this, all right, that want to deindustrialize America. Even last month, I reported on coming out of Bloomberg, one of the biggest newspapers in the country. They were reporting that the green movement needs to embrace property destruction. I don't even know how a newspaper gets away with coming out and saying something so extreme like this. It was saying that we need to, and I would never say this, never do this. I'm the person saying, hey, something's going on. Somebody's destroying our infrastructure. Bloomberg had an article saying we need to embrace property destruction, right? And it's for the environment. And they were saying they want to target critical infrastructure. They want to target pipelines. They want to target the grid. They want to target all these different things to push their green agenda forward even more. So there are groups pushing for this. There are groups that would have an interest in this, and they openly say they want to attack America, bring America down a notch. America uses too many resources, this and that. This is a way to implement that agenda, and there could be groups, mercenary groups, being paid to implement this agenda. All right, why is all this stuff happening in the Northeast right now? It is so weird. How was a explosive device left on the train tracks right outside Philadelphia? That is like no question that was a person doing it. All right, and it could be a whole host of groups doing this. But that is no question that it wasn't just like, come on, this is an accident. This stuff happens all the time. No, somebody placed an explosive device on a railroad outside of Philadelphia just yesterday, and it was right behind a church too on Sunday. All right, somebody is doing this. Some group is doing this, and they're orchestrating all of these events at once. All this stuff's happening at once, and it's been accelerating. If you've been following my channel the past month, it's been like it went from a couple of these stories a week to this is happening every single day. There are more explosions. Right outside of Chicago, Illinois, there was a massive chemical plant explosion, and there was really no reporting on it and over 1,000,000 gallons of toxic chemicals was just dumped into the ground. And this was in a neighborhood right outside of Chicago, right? And barely any coverage on it. A massive explosion. It was raining down oxidants onto people's cars. Their cars were turning green and oxidizing the metal on their vehicles. And this was also just dumped into the ground in their water table and just contaminated their environment. And it's just like, meh, barely a peep on it. And if you didn't see right now, all right, this is insulting and embarrassing. I reported this on Twitter. If you didn't see me, go follow me on Twitter right now, just in case anything ever happened. But I reported on this morning that Biden is in Ukraine right now, walking the streets of Kyiv. Right? And I wanted to leave a pause there to really think about how is he there right now, but he can't go to Ohio? He can fly all the way across the globe. This is probably a 30-hour flight, okay? And walk around the streets of apparently a very dangerous area, allegedly highly dangerous, and all this stuff, right? This is what we're told all day long, allegedly. And he is able to walk the streets there, but he is not able to go to Ohio or East Palestine and walk, because it kind of shows it's probably more dangerous there. It is toxic. FEMA is in hazmat suits. FEMA will not allow their personnel to walk around East Palestine, Ohio, unless they are in hazmat gear. All right, that is how they're treating the situation. And initially, FEMA even denied assistance for East Palestine a couple of days ago, but it got so much pushback that they had to give in and help out. But once they showed up, everyone's in hazmat. All their personnel are, and that shows you that's probably why President is not going there. Because what is he going to show up in a hazmat suit? They know this is a terrible, toxic situation. They essentially nuked this town to clear the railways to open up this rail line, because it didn't initially explode. It was on fire and it was burning and leaking, but they exploded these chemicals to clear the railway even faster and caused a much bigger environmental and ecological disaster. All right, so it just goes to show, hey, you're probably safer over there than here. All right, a lot of stuff we see over there is a complete just show. Honestly, it's a show, and we have billions of dollars to go over there, but we don't have money to send here. It's just insane. It's insane. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like, please hit that sub, please hit that bell for me if you want to get notified for my videos. I'm posting 2 to 3 videos every single day. I'm super blessed to have you guys watching, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.